Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This time I'm taking you on a 10-day journey to explore a side of Guangdong you might have never seen before. And if you are entering China through Zhuhai, this is definitely an itinerary you don't want to miss. We'll be heading south, diving deep into a series of coastal cities, from the romantic seaside city of Zhuhai, just across the water of Macau, to Zhongshan, where you can trace the footsteps of one of China's most influential historical figures, and finally to Chaoshan, a true paradise of food and culture. This journey isn't just about visiting one of China's earliest special economic zones. It's about experiencing the full contrast from modern city to the timeless charm of Lingnan culture. Curious what we discovered along the way? Don't blink, the journey starts now.
又是坐的晚上的飞机，从上海虹桥来到了珠海。第一个感觉是好热啊！上海今天大概6、7度，珠海今天19度。此时此刻我下了飞机，我穿多了，穿的还是冬天的衣服，好热啊！
When you come to Zhuhai, make sure to stay for at least a day or two. I highly recommend this super easy and scenic coastal city walk route. We're starting at the famous Love Post Office, then walking north along Lovers Road. Along the way, we'll stop by the iconic Zhuhai Fisher Girl statue, past the soft sandy beach, and finish at the stunning Sun Moon Shell Opera House. Seriously, every step along this route feels like walking through a postcard. In the morning, you have to try one of Guangdong's most beloved breakfast, Cantonese rice noodle rolls, often called a true cultural treasure. Just order a classic local breakfast set like this: black truffle chuanfan, boiled congee, and crispy fried wontons. The silky rice noodle rolls are filled with flavorful minced pork and shrimp. The boiled congee is slow cooked with seafood and beef, and it smells absolutely incredible. With a breakfast like this to start the day, you'll have enough energy to wander around all morning without getting hungry. For the first stop, take a taxi to one of Zhuhai's most recognizable landmarks, this charming lighthouse. It actually has quite a long history. It was first built in the early 20th century as a navigation beacon for Zhuhai port. Later, to match the romantic atmosphere of Lovers Road, it was transformed into what is now known as the Love Post Office. For locals today, it's more than just a famous photo spot, it's a symbol of love and connection. The lighthouse represents finding direction and guidance in the middle of a vast crowd. Many couples come here to write love letters or postcards to their future selves or to someone they love. It carries the comforting feeling that no matter how far you go, there will always be someone waiting for you.
现在就往这个灯塔这里走，然后远处那里就是港珠澳大桥，然后这边就是珠海。这里还是海洋观测科普的教育基地。 有一个海洋站的验潮室在这里。这儿就是港珠澳大桥。
After leaving the lighthouse, we just kept walking along Lovers Road. The whole road is actually 28 kilometers long. So no, we're definitely not doing the full thing today. We're just walking one of the best sections. Lavas Road was first built in the 1990s to upgrade Zhuhai's waterfront, and over the years it's become one of the city's most iconic spots. Locals even call it their living room by the sea. And honestly, that makes sense. This place feels like the heart of everyday life in Zhuhai. Relaxed, open, and always connected to the ocean. For older generations, this road has seen the city grow incredibly fast. For younger people, it's the go-to place for jogging, cycling, fishing, or just zoning out by the water. It kind of feels like a ribbon running through the city, connecting all the best views and the landmarks together. And if we keep following it, we'll pass some of Zhuhai's most famous spots. About a 20-minute walk later, we made it to the city's most iconic symbol, the Zhuhai Fisher Girl. This statue was created in 1982 by renowned Chinese sculptor Pan He, and is based on a local legend. The story goes that a dragon princess from the South China Sea came down to earth, fell in love with the beauty of Shanwei, transformed into a fisher girl, and fell in love with a local fisherman. She then brought treasures and blessings to the people here. If Lavas Road is the face of Zhuhai, then the fisher girl is definitely its soul. She was Zhuhai's very first major landmark, and also China's first large seaside statue. For locals, she's more than just a sculpture. She's almost like the city's guardian. Pretty much everyone who comes to Zhuhai stops here at least once.
所以我们就沿着这条海岸线一直走，然后差不多中午的时候，走到这个沙滩的中间，有一个商场，叫城市阳台，中午可以在这里吃顿饭。你也可以骑自行车，扫个码，这条路可以一直骑到前面去。
By lunchtime, we reached this huge waterfront complex near Xianglu Bay. With green hills behind it and the ocean right in front, people call this place Zhuhai's city balcony. There's a large mall built into the hillside, but once we walked through the underground passage, the whole view suddenly opened up. There were traditional pavilions over the lake, painted boats gliding across the water, and swans and little ducks playing near the edge. It was way more peaceful than I expected. There are tons of places to eat here, and I found a local restaurant serving classic Zhuhai-style dishes.
3位。
3位啊？对，好，这边好吗？
这是一个鱿鱼遮遮包，后厨3星，哇，鱼滑西洋菜。
Zhuhai sits right at the mouth of the Pearl River, with a long coastline and countless islands. Because of that, the local food scene is all about two things: freshness and variety. And seafood is definitely the star of the show. One classic Cantonese dish here is called zhezhebao. The name comes from the sizzling sound made when fresh ingredients hit a blazing hot clay pot with sauce poured over the top. And when squid is cooked this way, it stays tender, juicy, and packed with flavor, with an amazing texture in every bite.
先吃，我也是先吃个大肉，这一人一块肉，干杯！干杯！来，走吧，干杯！太香了，点的好好啊！这谁点的菜？怎么这么优秀？梅干菜。我底下的梅干菜也好吃。被我爸妈表扬的，说这个菜特别好吃。
After lunch, we said goodbye to the city balcony and got back on Lovers Road, heading for our final stop of the day, the Zhuhai Opera House. Along the way, we passed the long stretch of soft sand at Shanwei Beach. You can see families out with their kids, casually walking around, playing in the sand and relaxing under the tall palm trees. Life in Zhuhai really feels like the sunshine here. Warm, gentle, and unhurried. It kind of makes you want to slow down too and stay a little longer. Not long after, we could already see those two shell-shaped buildings in the distance. One big, one small. Yep, that's the Zhuhai Opera House. It's the only opera house in China built on an island, and because of its unique design, locals lovingly call it the Sun Moon Shell. This place is seriously impressive, and from one angle, you can even frame a traditional red Chinese pavilion standing right in front of the white shells. The contrast is amazing. An old-style painted boat in front of a giant modern landmark. It feels like a conversation between two different eras. Traditional and modern somehow meet here in the most unexpected way, and it just works. Alright, that's it for our half-day city walk in Zhuhai. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. Zhuhai isn't just about romantic coastlines, it also has a world-class mega project waiting for us to explore. Make sure to follow along because in the next episode, we are going to check out the longest sea crossing bridge in the world right now, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge.